What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back, and today we are watching a video from Not Another Cooking Show where he makes chicken parm pizza featuring huge chicken cutlet. I've never seen anything from this channel, but I'm a huge pizza person. That's probably my number one food. I love pizza, chicken wings and ribs and stuff, but pizza has a special place in my heart because you can do so many different things with pizza and different styles. So we're going to look at this, see how it is. I don't know if this is a serious show or like a parody show, but we're going to watch this. People suggested it to me, so let's take a look at this, have some fun, and see how it is.
Chicken parm pizza, which I first had in a restaurant in Midtown Manhattan called
like
Quality
ravioli.
Italian. It's chicken parm, but it's shaped and presented
It actually
like
looks
pizza.
really good.
It's fun. Let's make
Is that
it.
like
For me, it starts the
breaded,
night before or
crust?
early in the morning because we need to form the disc and freeze it and get it nice and hard. And we don't use chicken breast, which we usually use for chicken parm. We're using ground chicken. Now, if you can, you want to avoid a ground chicken that's made solely of chicken breast. That's going to be too lean, and it's going to kind of be dry and tough by the time we're done cooking this. This has kind of got the fat and the dark meat in it mixed up, so it's going to be a lot more moist. It's going to hold up better to cooking it, and it's going to be much more tender in the end.
If the package doesn't distinguish it as 100% breast meat, then it's probably
organic ground chicken, 100% air chilled, no retained water. USDA organic, I don't know about that. USA FDA has a pretty loose requirements. And then we have 100% breast meat chicken, ground chicken, 100% air chilled, no retained water. Okay. Both 1 pound.
made with whole chicken.
And I have a little mold because we want it in like the shape of a pizza, right? So we have to get the ground chicken molded into a circle or a disc.
Like
so
the end product looks really good. I might have to try this out.
A cake tin, just a normal size cake tin. And I'm gonna take some plastic wrap.
I love this music.
I'm just gonna do a double wrap of the plastic, one that way, and then one this way. You wanna make sure you get it right up to the wall so we can get a nice evenly shaped disc. Now I'm just gonna transfer this into here.
Now ground chicken is a lot harder to work with than ground beef. It's a little sticky and it's a lot more moist, but to be honest, it's like working with a really hydrated pizza dough.
So you make it into like the
push it outward.
pizza crust.
You want it nice and even. You want to work it towards the edge of the
pan. Kind of like
pan,
this is like the dough of the
a
pizza.
Nice flat, even disc. And then we're just gonna wrap that up in the plastic wrap, nice and tight.
Okay.
Now this goes in the freezer. Now you either do that early in the morning if you're gonna make this later, or if you want to plan ahead, you could do it the day before, which is what I'm gonna do.
Oh, I see he's in North America because the wall outlets there.
Tomorrow.
It's weird that it's on the side though. It's
nice
forward.
Frozen disc. Now we can get to breading, which is a little tricky. Since it's such a big thing, I need to get a wide enough surface to bread it, a wide enough surface to flour it, and then I guess I can put the egg in here. So it's not a traditional chicken cutlet setup. It's a little bit of a supersized breading station, but we'll make it work.
This already looks delicious. Oh, we got the eggs in there. Like he's going all out. This is like Gordon Ramsay style.
Then we want to take our little chicken patty.
Like even like the bread in it has like that.
This thing will start to defrost.
Like the little spice.
Get it into the flour.
Is it organic wrap or whatever?
Kind of rub it all over.
Since this is a larger piece of
oregano
meat than you're used to breading, you really sort of have to give it a hand and make sure you get all the edges and everything coated nicely at each stage.
Bang it off and into
I don't know if I have enough time to do all this, but I could always try this out, see if it actually works.
Oh, see, this was a bad idea because now I can't get it out.
The tricky part is just finding things big enough to do this in. But luckily I'm able to get it out with a fork, no problem.
Okay.
There you go.
Now the biggest mistake I see a lot of people do with breading
like a giant
is just
hash
not
brown.
thoroughly breading it enough, allowing wet spots to sort of stay on the meat before frying. As
Yeah, because you want the breading to dry it up.
Some of those breadcrumbs get wet and hydrated, and what you want to do is make sure you keep adding more breadcrumbs until there's no wet spots left, and the big cutlet is thoroughly coated.
That already looks
top,
delicious.
The bottom, and around the edges.
Kind of looks like a giant McDonald's
really
chicken
working
patty.
The breadcrumbs in, making sure it's completely covered and perfect. You want the breading as dry as possible before frying. And for good measure, as it freezes, I like to add a little bit more on top just to sort of maintain any moisture that might absorb into it.
That's a good idea.
Now we're just gonna wrap this up thoroughly. We don't want any air gaps, so we're gonna make sure on the second round of wrapping,
So
we
he's
turn
gonna
it a little
freeze this
bit,
too?
and we just make sure there's as little air as possible, and then it's really well wrapped.
Back in the freezer.
Now we gotta make some weekday sauce, the channel's house tomato sauce.
Whole
Covered this
peeled
numerous
tomatoes.
times, so I'm gonna leave a link down in the description if you want to see the whole video, but it starts
see,
with
DSP,
really good
this is how you
tomatoes
truly
that
do
we just
it.
run through a food mill to turn it into a puree or a passata.
We got a beautiful passata or tomato puree. That's the base of our tomato sauce. I like my tomato sauce pureed like this. If you like it chunky, you can leave it chunky, but same basic idea applies. Now it's garlic season. It's right around 4th of July. You're gonna start to see garlic at the farmer's market, and it's a good time to talk about two different types of garlic. You've got soft neck garlic here, which is what you see most often in the grocery store.
Yeah, that's the most common one.
Basically bulbs that vary in size that are wrapped around
has like the white and
stem
purple on
in
it.
various layers, as opposed to the hard neck
So we
stem,
got
which is you
soft neck, which is artichoke, hard necks, that is ricambo and porcelain. GrowOrganic.com. Okay, so I'm not a very good cook. I would just put that right now. So I'm learning a lot already from this video. So if me as a horrible cook can do this, anybody can do this.
see this hard singular stem that grows upward,
Yeah, it
and
looks like
it's
a penis.
equal sized larger bulbs that sort of wrap around the stem once. And this is my favorite kind.
So that's the
You kind
porcelain?
of only see it in the farmers markets this
Look
time
at that,
of
it looks
year.
like a penis.
Garlic is planted in the fall, it grows dormant in the winter, and then grows in the spring and starts to pop up in early summer. So when you buy it, it's a lot more moist, as you can see. But since it's so fresh, they have to cure, and they cure and sort of last through the season. You see how it sort of wraps around the stem once, and they're all sort of big cloves that you can
Okay.
just peel off. And then you have a beautiful, fresh, in-season garlic clove. I'm gonna go with 2 for our sauce. I find the hard neck to be just a more pleasant garlic flavor than the soft neck. So if you see it,
Interesting.
give it a shot.
So they have a different taste to them as well. Look at that beautiful technique for
We got
chopping.
a stem of basil.
This guy knows
some
what he's
garlic,
doing.
My sauce, and we're gonna use some olive oil and salt. So let's just run over to the stove, bang it out.
Before we start the sauce, I know I'm going to pop this into the broiler later. So I just want to preheat the oven so it's nice and hot, and then adjust the rack till it's about 7 inches below the broiler. You can also use your hand as a rough measuring stick. Now I'm using
Well,
a
the
pan
problem with that,
through this
everyone
to
has different
speed up
hands.
the reduction process of the tomato sauce and to give you a better view, but you can totally do this in a pot. On medium heat, add olive
Look at
oil,
this slow
a basil
motion.
stem,
I
and
love it.
sliced garlic. And you're
It's like
just looking
sexy
to
cooking.
infuse that olive oil with the garlic and the basil stem flavor. And that's going to be the thing that flavors the tomatoes. So once you kind of start to see a little bit of browning starting to develop in the
Okay.
garlic, you want to kill the heat a little bit just so that when you add the tomatoes, they don't splatter everywhere. You're going to add those tomatoes, and you're going to know there's like a little bit of separation between the tomato and the oil. That's fine. That's going to emulsify as it cooks. We're going to season with
That
salt.
already looks
We're
so
gonna drop the
delicious.
heat down to a simmer, and we're just going to
That's
cook
probably
this
the most
until the
delicious
water cooks
homemade
out and the
tomato
tomato
sauce
sauce
I've ever seen.
thickens. If the tomato sauce is spitting too much, just lower the heat a little bit until it's not spitting all over the place. But you want to keep reducing.
I like this guy. I'm gonna subscribe to him.
We
You
want to
guys
go for a
should
thicker
subscribe to
sauce
him as
here,
well.
maybe a little bit thicker than
I'm
we
learning
would
a lot
for
about this
pasta.
so far.
Once we've achieved the right consistency, check for seasoning. Remove that basil stem and set it off to the side.
That is beautiful
That's a nice
sauce.
dry, fresh mozzarella. Nice serrated knife. You can get them nice and thin.
Well, he's actually using like fresh mozzarella too, not just like shredded.
My chicken cutlet's nice and frozen. We're ready to fry. What I did is I measured how
Now,
big
the thing is, not a lot of people
diameter
have this
of
much
the
time to
disc
do
is.
all this.
And what's pretty essential
Or the money.
is making sure we have a wide rim frying or saute pan. You need a pan with high rims like this, and it's got to be larger than the 8-inch disc that I have, and it is. This is about
Yeah, or else it's
11
gonna get
inches
stuck again.
inside, edge to edge. Now I was testing some frying recipes the other day, so I've got some frying oil here, and I'm just gonna use that. to
Frying
fry
recipe?
my chicken. I want a good
I've
amount.
never even heard of that.
Otherwise, this thing's gonna be very difficult to fry. You don't want it more than halfway up. You need a good ½ inch or so we can almost semi-deep fry this thing. You're gonna get it up on the stove to a frying temperature. Now you kind of need something flat that we're gonna use when it's cooked, that we're gonna
Okay.
assemble the pizza before we get it in the oven. And you need to maneuver this thing with spatulas. You're not gonna be able to grab it. Tongs won't work. Spatulas are gonna work. And we're gonna do some sort of trickery to kind of flip it and to do all the things we need to do. I think I might use 2 plates to do a little flipping when I need to. So I'm gonna
That's
get
a
those
smart
ready.
idea. I never even
And once
thought
we're
about
at the
doing that
temperature,
before.
We're just going to fry it on one side really hard, so we get some nice structure to it, so it won't really fall apart.
Yeah,
if
so
all goes well, we should have a nice chicken
so
parm
the bottom
pizza.
will
So
hold
as you
it
can
up.
see, there's a good
if
amount
it's,
of oil,
structured
but it's
enough.
nowhere near halfway up the side of the pan, which tells me it's enough oil to fry it, but also a safe amount so there'll be no disaster. Just cut away the plastic, dust
Man,
off
this
some
is
of the
already
excess
making me hungry.
breadcrumbs, and then gently submerge the chicken in the oil. I should have used the spatula for this.
Yeah,
I
you don't want that,
accidentally dipped my
splattering
finger
everywhere.
A little bit in the oil, which was fine. Don't worry about it. But if you want to be safe, just use the spatulas. And then we're just going to fry this in the oil until we can see this sort of hard crust developing all the way around.
Oh my
the
god, that
edges.
looks so delicious.
Then we want to take the chicken out, transfer it onto a plate, add another plate on top, and give it a quick and confident
I'm learning
flip
so much about
that
this
we can
already.
safely flip this chicken nugget onto a plate and then slide that gently back into the oil to crisp up the other side of the nugget.
gonna have to
Again,
try
our
this one day
tool
when
is
I
just
have the time and
constantly
money.
using the spatulas. Once it's perfectly crispy all around, we're going to transfer that to a wire rack and just sort of drain of any excess oil, season with salt, and then our base for the pizza is ready to go.
My god.
Then we're just going to assemble this guy like a normal chicken parm or a pizza. Sauce goes onto the chicken nugget with some Parmigiano Reggiano, some fresh sliced mozzarella, and then into
Yeah,
the
this
broiler.
guy knows exactly what he's doing. I wonder if he's actually like a professional chef or
Now, this
anything.
is where
'cause
the right distance
he
from the
definitely has
flame
all the
matters.
knowledge.
If it's too close, this thing's just going to char way too fast, and the edges of the chicken might burn. We just want the cheese to get nice and bubbly, maybe a little colored to develop around the edge, but if it's the right distance, it should all come together at once. Slice it up like a pizza. It's crispy, it's juicy.
I'm gonna have to get
chicken
pizza after
parm,
this.
It's pizza.
Look at
it's
that.
delicious. Forget about it.
Yeah, that's good. If you're a chicken parm fanatic, you're gonna probably need to make recipes down in the description. If you like the video, hit the like button, give me a subscribe, and if you want to
Yeah,
become one of my
especially when
patrons,
you-
there's a link down in the description.
when
That's all
you
that I have
substitute
today.
the
I'll see
dough
you
for,
next
like,
time.
actual
Until
chicken
then,
breast?
take care of yourself and go feed yourself.
That is amazing. Like, this looks amazing. It sounds amazing. It's making me think of this in my head. I definitely want to try this one day. Maybe I'll do a video where I, as like a very bad cook, try this out to see if I can, if I can do this. Like, as a horrible cook, anyone can do this. So maybe I'll rate like the difficulty measure of how to do this. God damn. Well, thank you. Not another cooking show. I'm subscribing to you. Everyone else should subscribe to you. And my god, I love this video. Maybe watch some more stuff from him. Click that like, share the video, leave a comment below, hit subscribe, and as always, I will see you guys next time. Peace and love.